It's Mazzy. Welcome back to the channel. I want to talk about the Beatles Anthology and all these rumors that are circulating around the interwebs and the forums and everywhere else. And I know a little bit. I've heard a few little birdies whisper in my ear, but nothing definitive. But there's some people in the know that have reached out and said something's happening in the fall. 30 years ago, November 1995, the Beatles Anthology came out. That documentary, it started before that, decades before, with Neil Aspinall, who was the savant, the head of Apple, ran the division with Apple, grew up with the Beatles, with Mal Evans, part of that original inner circle. And he was working on a documentary that he was compiling and putting together all those years called The Long and Winding Road. Well, that eventually in 1990s turned into what became the anthology. Broadcast over 3 nights on ABC TV, 6 hours. Later would come out on video in an expanded whopping 10 hours. So I want to talk about that, show you some things in my collection, some things I've heard, and some wish lists. Now, I remember, talk about Beatles rumors. There's always a rumor back in the 70s of the Beatles getting back together again. I remember about to go into a movie at the Times Theater in North Beach on the edge between the Italian district and Chinatown. Times Theater, 99 cents, changed every day, 2 movies. We were sitting in the car on this rainy night listening to Tom Donahue, the K-San DJ, talk about in LA, they have a reporter. There's a Beatle reunion going on in a studio in LA. Well, as it turned out, it was the Ringo album. And all the Beatles are on it, not at the same time, not on the same tracks. I'm the greatest, all that stuff. So that was like one of many, many reunion rumors over the years. But let's talk about the Beatles Anthology. Now, first, this is the Big Book Chronicle books put out like a few years after the actual documentary came out. Apparently, this big mother of a heavy book is coming back again. A reimagined, updated? How do you update it? But a new version of this is coming out towards the end of the year. And that leads to rumors about another anthology. Now, I love the Beatles Anthology all 10 years. And prior to my good friend Coleman passing away, before I left San Francisco, every year, about 6 years leading up to me moving to Seattle 11 years ago, once a year, Coleman and I would get together on a Saturday and about 11 o'clock in the morning, start and watch the entire 10 hours of the Beatles Anthology on DVD. We'd watch the entire thing. We'd have food. We'd have wine. We'd have cocktails and watch the Beatles Anthology. I absolutely love it. Are there things I would do different? Yeah, maybe, but I'm not a director. I'm not a producer. But let's talk about this. Now, eventually it would come out on this expanded VHS multi-disc set. 8 volumes, jam-packed. I've never even opened this or listened to it. It's bizarre. But I have listened to the 10-hour version on a DVD. Now, I think it's time for a Blu-ray, and the rumor is because of all this AI and all the things that happened with the Now and Then, remember this came out last year? All of a sudden, they could bring out John Lennon's vocals and clean it up and make it what it was. Now, I'm not a massive fan of this. I know people want gaga over it and all the power. I think it's really interesting, but it's obviously, it's to keep the legacy going. Now, this was going to be the 3rd new song on night 3 of the anthology back then, and George Harrison especially decided, it's not so good. Now, of course, he didn't have the technology. That didn't exist back then. So maybe now's the time to change this. Apparently, the rumor has it, in this new anthology, they're going to fix up Free as a Bird and Real Love. Now, I have these picture discs from 1995, 1996. Remember, after night 1, the most exciting thing At the end of night one, after the first 2 hours of the anthology, there was a music video of the song, the debut of Free as a Bird. It was directed by the commercial director, Joe Pytka. It was pretty fabulous for the time. And I remember being very verklempt, very emotional about it. And initially, it came out on a 2 CD set that zoomed up to number 1 and a 3 LP set with this gatefold. And the cover design by Klaus Verman, the bass player, the friend of the Beatles, the designer who did Revolver, the illustrator who did Revolver, and putting these 3 together, which you'll see, made up a panel, and this was volume 1. The next year, 1996, volume 2 came out as a 3 LP set and a 2 CD set, and then volume 3, several months later, came out as a 3 LP set and 2 CD set. Now, of course, there were various CDs, singles of the new songs, and some promo CDs. I only have volume 2 and volume 3. I don't have volume 1. God, heads are exploding now. I don't have volume 1. But these are really interesting. Now, my criticism at the time, and I still believe it to this time, as much as I love these, and I do, I think they're incredible, to me in volume 1, the first one, I want to show the albums because albums are so much cooler to show, right? So volume 1 of the Beatles Anthology, there's some live tracks on here. I don't think the live tracks fit. I would have loved, and I wish, this is my wish list, that when they reimagine and redesign the Beatles Anthology, if they decide to do CDs and vinyl, I wish they'd take off the live tracks, put those on a separate, maybe 2 CD, 3 LP set, add a lot of really choice, unreleased or re-AI'd versions of the Star Club in Hamburg, or that tape they just found at that boys' school way back in the day, just as they were releasing Please Please Me. I think the live stuff should be separate. But what's great about this, it has the Decca stuff. Give us the entire Decca stuff. We heard that entire tape out of Canada. Rob Frith out of Neptune Records has apparently a 1-1 copy of the Decca sessions. Back in the 1980s, Decagon, that semi-gray market bootleg series of colored vinyl singles with picture sleeves that I had came out. The entire Decca, 3 Cool Cats, The Chic of Araby, Besame Mucho, all those great songs, Money. The Decca audition tape needs to be released in its fullest. So that's something they should do within this. Make 1 LP the Decca, make a separate 2 LP live sessions, but reimagine, remake, add different tracks, add more tracks. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, reinvent it. Since it's 30 years later, it's time to reimagine it. You're doing everything else. You're reimagining everything else, Apple and the Beatles. Reimagine the anthologies. Now, I'm excited about this. It's been 30 years since the anthologies came out. Now, this is something which it doesn't even, it's nothing that you can really see. It's just a physical pack of DVD-Rs. This is apparently the director's cut of the anthology from back in the day that goes beyond the 10 hours. Now, because of the DVD-R and the way CD-ROMs and these things were working, I could never watch this in its entirety. It would never sync up on the computers and the CD-R playback players of the time, but I still have it. In fact, it says here, Anthology Director's Cut artwork on Microsoft Word, the Beatles Anthology Director's Cut. What a collector's item that I haven't been able to watch in all these years. We tried it, I remember Coleman and I tried playing this and it just didn't work. So we went back and we watched the anthology on DVD. Now, again, this is a rumor only. There's no official word yet. There's no definitive announcement. There's so many things we've been talking about, thinking about. It's what, the 50th anniversary of Help. It's the 50th anniversary of Rubber Soul. There's so many friggin' anniversaries. Every minute there's an anniversary of something that happened in the Beatle world. And as far as I'm concerned, I think the anthology on a Blu-ray is something that we really need. Update the sound, update the video. You can fix the video of the certain passages that may be a little bit of wonky, that maybe weren't as perfected. They can even it out. They could basically remaster it. Obviously, Peter Jackson and his company, he does some amazing things. Like, I personally was not a fan of the Peter Jackson video of this. I thought it was a little cheesy for my personal taste. But I'm a Beatle fan. I want to see a remastered version of this. I love the Beatles documentary. I love that it was really, for the most part, just the Beatles talking about their experience. So obviously it's not objective. It's coming from the lads, the inner circle. I'm glad they didn't have talking heads like Bono and Dave Grohl and Tracy Chapman and Whoopi Goldberg narrating a video like that. I don't want Ron Howard's fingers on any of this. I want it to live as it lived, but just clean it up, expand it, and improve it. I mean, we all want to improve. Now, again, everyone's got a different taste on this. I have my taste. I have my opinion what it should be like, but I'm looking forward. Do you need to update the book? I mean, there's a finite story of the Beatles that pretty much ended in 1970. I don't want this to be the solo years and looking back on it and changing the story of what happened. Obviously, with Get Back, we had the Get Back, which really kind of did change our opinion of those, quote, Let It Be Get Back sessions. It really opened it up, and I love that. That was brilliant. So, again, based on that documentary and based on them taking those tapes from those sessions in 1969, I think the anthology, the book, the movie, the Blu-ray could be one of the great stories of the Beatles. I mean, what a great story anyway. We all know the story, or most of us do. And it's something that I'm ready to watch again. And maybe I will do it one more time, bring someone over and have a little anthology party. So if you're in Seattle, if you want to be a part of it, let's do it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again, these are only rumors. I don't have the definitive answer to this. There are other people on YouTube that have been presenting rumors. They've heard through the grapevine that this is happening. So I think it's going to happen. We'll see. Mazzy loves you.